Hey everybody, this is Hurdy Burke with the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network, broadcasting live from state of the art studios here in Round Rock, Texas. I always laugh when I say that because we're in this big glass building, right, Kim? And
It's
we've got glass.
very
It's
fancy.
massive.
Yes,
It's got the light with the junk in it above us. It's just an old studio, but we're glad to have Kim Stanley with Downsize My Home tonight. We're going to talk about Downsize My Home and what a perfect time of the year to do so because a lot of people this time of year decide at the beginning of next year, especially in Austin, that they probably want to sell their house because they can make money selling it, which you can capture that too. And we'll talk about that. And then also, you've got nesters that the kids are leaving that now don't need those extra three bedrooms, right, Kim?
that's right.
You're not gonna hear me through that
I'm getting
headphone.
feedback.
You are.
Yes, I
You're getting feedback right
I'm
now?
getting a delayed broadcast of what you just said.
Oh, wow. Hold it.
That's better. I can
Is that
not hear you
better?
now. Yes.
Okay, good. That's great. So, wow, why that has never happened. I don't even know what caused that loop back, but that's all right. So, anyhow, I want to thank a couple of these guys tonight. We need to jump in and thank some sponsors. I want to
Absolutely.
thank, let's see, Danny L. Smith, DannyLSmith.com. Go check out his website. That's DannyLSmith.com. Certified John Maxwell coach, guerrilla marketing coach, is now doing some empowerment courses. And I want you to go check out something. I want you to go to DannyLSmith.com, and on that page, click on resources and look at what he has to offer. He's got a 12-week webinar session, and he's got some specials on some ongoing classes you can sign up with. So go check out Danny L. Smith, and thank you, Danny, for being a sponsor. And what did my applause for? But we're going good. I'm getting feedback. Why? That's funny. All right. So anyhow, we're just going to continue, okay? And I'm not going to worry about the applause tonight. We're just going to keep going. It's broadcasting, so we'll just let it go, Kim.
All right.
All right. So Kim, uh, your website for Downsize My Home is what? We always like to get that out up front.
Right. It's just downsizemyhome.biz, B-I-Z.
And that's good. Put .biz after it, all right? It's a revamped website, right?
Yes, Jeff Deck from
Jeff did a
Tylerica
good job.
Systems
I like
has
it. And
revamped it, and I'm continuing to add to it, and so it does have some videos on it that you helped create, and
yeah, the first one on there was a really good one on there that just shows your organizational kit, which we're going to talk about tonight, which
right.
is really great. But it's a great looking website. It's real functional. It's got easy social network buttons on it. I've been through it. It looks fantastic. I like the color of it too, by the way. I like
Yeah.
the newer blue he put on there. All right, so we're gonna give you some kudos right now. Your team, your SEC team from
Oh,
the
my
East,
team, yes, Mizzou,
the
go Tigers.
Mizou won their SEC East, and they play Alabama. Oh goodness, okay, this weekend in Atlanta,
That's right.
correct? And
Yeah,
you're saying Mizzou is what?
they're gonna win.
Okay, and if you didn't say that, you wouldn't be a good fan, right? You have to say that, but it's
Oh
going to be a
no,
game,
they're gonna win because they didn't win last year to Auburn, so they're not gonna go back a second time and not
Yeah,
win.
isn't
They'll
it
win.
amazing that they get to play two big they got to play two big powerhouses. I mean, last year Auburn had a buzzsaw football team, and this year they just didn't have a defense. But enough about football. I just thought I'd give kudos.
Yeah, I
Kim
know.
is a
We
big
know what you did.
MIZZOU fan.
We know what you did over the holiday.
I did. I watched mega football. There was tons of football on to the point where I was sick of football.
Wow.
And that's hard to say for a guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about downsizing my home. And Kim, just to kind of give people scenarios, what would be some of the typical scenarios for why people want to downsize? Because that's really probably a, about much of your business, isn't it? Is older people wanting to their kids are
Right,
gone.
right.
So what are some scenarios for why people want to downsize?
Oh gosh, there's tons of reasons. We actually recently
You got a brochure to prove
did both.
it.
We both worked with an 80-year-old couple and a 45-year-old single mom. So the reasons for downsizing are varied. I mean, definitely seniors who need assistance in moving to a retirement community
Right.
or assisted living, or just empty nesters who raised their kids in a big 4 or 5 bedroom house and now just want to go down to a 3 bedroom patio home.
Right.
Um, I work also with trust officers and attorneys who are responsible for managing the estates of seniors or people who are approaching that age.
So what does
Uh,
that mean? Does that mean if you work with companies that are like estate companies, like they're going in and helping clear up the estate?
no, it's the accountants or the trust officers in, say, a bank
Right.
that is managing the portfolio
Okay.
for a retired person, or an attorney who's helping to manage. Maybe somebody passed on, they're helping to manage the estate of someone, and their families, the families that are their clients,
Ah, got it.
need
Okay.
help with moving mom or dad, that kind of thing.
All right.
Um,
And
and
then,
then there's people who want to get the most out of selling their current home, and they want to make sure they can just declutter it and get it in shape.
yeah, like if they just want to move, they're selling their home. They've stored up stuff up there in that good old attic on the plywood. They've got the garage boxed up on all edges.
Or in the guest room where
Yeah,
they
the
close the
scooter's
door.
the only thing that fit now. The cars
Yeah,
sit in the
exactly.
driveway, right? So you've got that scenario where they, especially in Austin now, where the market, people are actually can make money when they sell their home now.
Right,
You think,
right.
right? Because is it still a seller's market here, or is it kind of somewhere now?
It is both,
It is
and it
both.
depends
Okay,
on the neighborhood, but that's a whole other
right.
story. But uh, it's interesting because right now a lot of people are talking about aging in place, and for a lot of people, aging in place is ideal. Their home's paid off, they love their home, they like their neighbors, they don't want to move. The
I get
problem,
that.
yeah, the problem comes when this is especially true in the core areas of Austin, some of those beautiful older neighborhoods, 70s, 60s
Right.
homes that were built on the side of the hill. So there's no main level bedroom, or you have to walk upstairs to go from the garage or carport into the home. And it
Right.
cannot be retrofitted to meet the needs of the senior. You can't widen the doorways. You can't do those things that
To make
somebody.
the home functional, if somebody has to go upstairs in a
Yes,
wheelchair, or if they're disabled and
or
they've
their
got to
their
get
knees
around the
are
house,
giving them a
right?
problem, and
Yep.
and they
They
really
can't
need
walk
that.
upstairs,
Right,
right?
they need that one level living. So there's where you run into an issue. That's who I tend to serve the most, or people who just they can't stay in their homes, or maybe they just don't want to anymore. Maybe it's just too much
Tired
home
of
for
it.
them. They don't need all the space. They don't want to heat and cool the space. So they're ready to go to an active adult community, or uh, a maintenance-free patio home, or
Awesome.
something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of us are living active adult lifestyles a lot longer, and they just want to be free to travel.
and get
Lock
more.
the
Just
key
get
and
simple. And another thing, I guess, is if somebody just it doesn't necessarily move, you can still come in and help them with the downsize or
yes,
organizing the stuff, which we're going to talk about tonight. Correct?
right. And I can give them a tool that can help them do it on their own, and so that's something we'll talk about. I did want to talk a little bit about
Okay.
some of the really interesting
It's
statistics
your
on the
show.
aging population. Awesome, awesome.
It's your show. So
Well,
okay, great.
okay, so
So lead me into it. Ask yourself a question, and I'll be the listener.
okay,
So what was the topic going to be? What were you going to talk about?
I want to talk about the senior market and what it
Okay, it's
really
huge.
looks like.
Okay, all
And
right.
everybody's heard about how it's, oh, we're all getting older and the baby boomers are
It's
coming.
true.
Yes, and you and I are both baby boomers,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
we know this. But
Appreciate it.
but to just verify that, um, Austin had a task force on aging about 2.5 years ago, and so they really studied this. They came out with some stats that are kind of interesting.
Good.
Um, 13% of the area population is 65 and older in this area, but they
13%.
have the third
Wow.
fastest growing population of seniors age 65 plus in the country. And actually, get this, boomers 55 to 64, Austin is the number one fastest growing population.
Now, is that in Austin? Does that include like Sun
The
City, the
whole,
whole thing?
yeah,
So it doesn't
Williamson,
matter where.
Travis, the
All
whole
that.
metro
Wow, that's
area.
huge. How
Yeah,
much? What percentage?
it's the number, well,
The number one.
it's the
Okay.
number one fastest growing. So more
Makes sense.
people that are retirees,
Coming
or
here.
they're coming here. They're coming here in droves.
in droves.
Of course, we think there's a lot of people from California
I'm
coming here
picturing
in
the old
droves
Chisholm
too.
Trail being
Yeah, I
used,
know, I know, yeah.
people being herded down it, but
Well, here's how fast it's growing. So in the next 15 years, they're
don't
predicting
even tell me.
it'll grow from 15 to 20%. And of course, that kind of echoes nationwide. So 20% of the Austin area population, which we think is such a young population, will be 65 plus.
So it's not as young adult as one might think.
No,
And it's got an older city feel to it, because it's been an old Central Texas city in the capital for a long time. So you've got
yeah,
that was pretty well established, right?
right,
It's the youth. Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that.
yeah.
Wow.
So
So
I
what
think,
that says for you? That says good things, doesn't it? That's a lot of downsizing, a lot of
well, it tells me there's a tremendous need for the type of service that I
that you
provide.
offer. Okay.
And for a lot of services, I work with a lot of uh, independent living facilities, a
Yep.
lot of like the area agency on aging,
Hmm.
Alzheimer's associations. I network and refer to a lot of these organizations. So I'm developing a network that I can serve my clients with
Right.
when they're saying, well, who do I turn to and what do I do? So that's kind of my goal is to be the one-stop shop resource
And you
for
are.
any and everything that people need,
And
whether
you
it's,
are.
thank you.
And you're a realtor too. So that's the best part. Along with this is you get that expertise with it. We won't get too much into that, but you
Yeah, it
do.
depends on what that
Right.
client needs. If they need that, we can offer it. If they just need help with downsizing or they need help deciding what kind of a community to move to,
You can help them
we
with
can
that,
help
which
them.
is awesome.
So,
Yay.
yes.
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I
And
love what I'm doing.
yeah, because this has been your passion for a long time. When we
Hmm.
first met, you kept saying, I love what I do. I love what I do. But to have this on the side and be building this is really what I love, want to really focus on. You love helping people, especially the seniors, right?
Yeah, and I think you have to be fairly patient to work with seniors.
Yes,
They
you
move at a
do.
different pace, and I'm talking about people that are maybe
Yeah,
more our parents' age.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just really enjoy that group. I love the stories they tell about their lives. And here's the thing: there's stories behind your stuff. The biggest thing that so here's
Okay,
something
so
that you
what's
should be.
our crack staff came up with these great questions that you're going to repeat and answer for us tonight. Can you help me with that? All right. So
Yeah,
what's
so Herdy
okay?
says, what is the most common challenge that causes people to contact a downsizing
Yeah,
specialist?
I'd
You were
like to
just going
know.
to ask
I was
me
just,
that,
I
weren't you?
am going to ask you that. So what
Okay.
are the common things?
A lot of it is I need to move, I want to move, but I have no idea where to begin.
That makes total sense. They've never moved in umpteen years. They've got a paid off house. Can you scoot up just a tad? Yeah. All right. And so they've got a paid off house and they've never thought about it. So what do I do?
Yeah.
Where
And
do
they
I
look at
start?
all this stuff. Where do
Right.
I start? And one of the things on the video on my website is a good little video that talks about where to start the process
Right on the
and how
front
to
page.
begin. So that's really important. And just like any kind of a consultant, a downsizing specialist can come in and guide somebody through that process.
Correct.
And especially if you're going through any kind of a health challenge or you're just contemplating a big move like that, it can be very overwhelming.
I bet. And so, um, yeah. So I'm just thinking out loud here. I would imagine that if they've had a pretty good sized house, kids have moved out, right? And they've got stuff stored that the kids have left behind from college or they've gone off and it's still there, but now they've outgrown that even. I remember this one. I remember we were on a site shooting a video in a house and we were in one room and there was this beautiful lava lamp that me and you both were going, I want that. I want that. I wanted that lava lamp. But there's all sorts of things they can tag. Um, so that's a commonality, right? So that what else would they be? They don't know where to begin or where to start. What else is an
They don't,
issue?
and making decisions. That's the toughest
Oh
thing,
yeah, they need help with that. They need somebody kind of give them some options.
right? And one of the reasons why I started this company is that from my own personal experiences, but I created a step-by-step system that helps people go through and be able to visually see
Right.
and start moving forward, making decisions about what to keep, what to gift, what to sell, and what to donate. And once they start this process and they start seeing the progress visually,
Gets
it
exciting.
starts moving forward quickly. The next thing is, what do I do with everything? And so we've got resources to help them with that. We can help them as much or as little as possible. I can say, here's a kit and here's a workbook, here's everything
And
you need to do.
here's what it costs to take it and go do
Yes,
your thing, or you can be there with them as a consultant.
absolutely. So that's
That's basically not knowing where to start then, and then not and being overwhelmed with the amount of things that they've got to figure out what to do with. You can help
yeah,
them with
and
that.
especially if you're looking at going from say a 3,000 square foot
Right.
home down to, well, recently I just moved an 80-year-old couple from a 2,200 square foot home down to a 1,000 square foot apartment in a senior living facility,
Awesome.
and they had a tremendous amount of stuff, and they didn't have just junk. They had really nice things,
So they got yeah. Okay. Good.
and 55 years of memories, and how, what do you do
Wow.
with that? So
Wow.
part of my system is helping them capture and retain the memories, but be able to make decisions about what's most important in their lives to move forward with. So when all said and done, we went from this 2,200 square foot home to a 1,000 square foot
And it fit
apartment,
perfectly.
and it had all the
It
things
looked
that
fabulous.
it
I
did
bet.
look like they just transplanted their home to this new space.
And they got to get rid of some stuff, and you had cry towels out in the yard for them and everything, right? I'm just kidding.
Well, you know what?
You got to have some fun with it, but it
It's
is sad when people
it's
let
a
go of stuff. That's the hard part about this.
it's a letting go process, but really it's not
But it feels
sad.
good,
It feels good once they get started. It feels
right?
good, and when we capture the memories for them. Uh, the other Here's another challenge, and that has to do with the
This
family.
would be number three.
This is number three, the family
Okay.
dealing with
Ooh, yeah,
so mom and dad need to move, or maybe just mom needs to move,
yeah.
and if the kids come in and try to help their parents, quite often there's a lot of conflict, or the siblings come in and they
Yep.
don't agree on
Wow.
things. Hey, I thought you were going to give this to me, la la la. This happens both uh, while the parent is alive and sometimes after they're gone,
Right.
because I deal with both of those
Okay. Got
scenarios. So having a third party independent consultant that empowers the
it. Yep.
senior to go, this is what I want, and then I communicate that with
So you
the
truly
family.
become the consultant and the go-between in helping with those relationships as they get stressed out about all this stuff, right?
Yes, and everybody has a story. Everybody I've talked to that's not an only child has a story of conflict
Oh,
with
you
their
think?
siblings. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. So part of the downsize is working through the conflicts of the family, right? For whatever reasons that is,
Well, from my part, I'm working to eliminate them or greatly reduce them, and
and get
advocate
right.
for the senior and saying, look, this senior's of sound mind and body, and this is what they've decided,
So
and let's.
stay out, butt out, buddy.
Well, I don't say
I
that.
know. I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty good at making
You're
sure
good
smoothing it
about
out.
wording it, but the bottom line is you empower them to make the decisions about their own stuff, and then help explain why it's important they get to do that and help the family stay away from
Right.
it as best as possible.
And then if there's enough for an estate sale, I help make that happen, and help communicate that with everybody so that everybody knows exactly what inventory is very important. So I take a careful inventory so
Right.
everybody knows this is what ends up in the estate sale. What happened to Mama's gravy bowl? Well, it went into the estate sale, or it got donated to Salvation Army, or whatever it was. But everybody
It
knows.
went bye bye.
But
Everybody
everyone
knows
knows.
what, and you can the inventory. This is cool. So you got what else? I have some questions now. Am I get jumping? What's your next
Absolutely.
major question that you want me to ask you that I should have seen earlier, but you didn't show it to me?
I'm keeping it.
So what makes downsizing my home unique? Really, what?
There are other people out there that are senior move managers, or maybe they're organizational specialists, but
Ah, I get where you're going with this question.
what what I think makes Downsize My Home unique is that we have a system, a color coded system, and once I train people on the system and how to use it, and a workbook, and I have a whole toolkit that I bring with me,
Yep.
um, and they start getting empowered, they get excited about it, and they're able to see the results for themselves. I think that's one unique thing is the system that I have that puts them in charge.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
so
and so they're empowered by you showing them a system which actually works. I've seen it, by the way, part of it. I've seen how it works. So maybe that's something we should talk about a little bit is what is the process,
well, first of all, you've got to ask yourself questions. You've got to have a starting point. So you need
right?
to find out what's a good starting point. And again, on my website, it talks about
Yeah,
that.
you go through all that in your website. Okay.
Right. And how to have a beginning and an ending and how to make this a process. You don't have to do it all at once,
Yep.
but starting is where what you have to do. If you spend 15 minutes a day, an hour a week, whatever it is, you know, set yourself a start, a stop, and then step back and look at your progress. So it's all color coded, and you know at the end of the day, whether it's just you making those decisions or you and a spouse, you know what each person's done.
Right. And I guess the cool thing too, Kim, is that if you've gone through and color coded stuff, and put it in the certain things, what you're going to do with it, sell it, keep it, think about it, whatever that is, right?
Hmm.
You can always go back and change your mind on something and switch it from one thing to another, right? If you really get down to, I really want to keep that doll. I
Absolutely.
like that doll. I thought I get it. Okay.
So my job though is to also set parameters and make sure that people realize what they're going to. So, we plan, we measure everything. We measure furniture, we measure the space that they're going to, we arrange the furniture,
So you're doing
on
an
a,
inventory, pre-inventory up front to kind of see what's
yeah,
going to
and not
work
just
and
in,
not work, right?
right, and not just an inventory, but also a floor plan.
Gotcha.
So they know. So then reality hits and we have some hard decisions to make. But we have a series of questions we take our clients through to
Wow.
help them
That's
come to
cool.
this decision and help them get a little bit of peace of mind about
That's
that.
good. All right.
So let's say, for example, Herdy, you've got this wonderful certificate on the wall, but you're getting ready to downsize and you can't take that framed thing with you.
No problem.
So what I'm going to do is take a picture of it
And let me save it
and
forever and
let you
show it
save
and
it
post it on
forever and show
Facebook
it to
and go,
people.
look, I was Who's International back then. Okay, fine. Put it on Facebook. Got it.
And store it
So I
forever.
got the picture memory.
Yes. So
That's
you'll
awesome.
so things that we can't take forward, we'll make pictures for, we'll do videos for.
And that's awesome
You'll
because
have
that's
them.
really what people want is to know that they had the keepsake and they can remember the memories of it, right? Because that's cool. All right.
The biggest heartache I hear that seniors go through is having someone come in to make the decisions for them or to push them, and it feels like somebody's just trashing through their life.
Now,
And
how would that? Okay, who would that be? Would that be somebody that is too serious about this type of business, or doesn't, or just comes? I mean, who would that? Would that be
it
family
it
or
might be
somebody that
family,
I'm taking this over, mom?
right,
You don't
right,
need to worry about it. We'll figure it out. Yeah,
or it might be uh, a, a, a
could be anybody.
professional organizer or somebody who's been hired
Right,
by the family or the trust to go in and make this happen. The biggest thing I can tell
right.
people right now is downsize early and often. If you
Yep,
do that,
yep.
then you don't have to worry about if you become incapacitated at some point in time about
Absolutely.
someone else coming in and making those decisions for you, coming in and just going
So
through your
there's
stuff.
a lot of things on this that get more technical than I realized, and that is power of attorneys might be involved in this
Yep.
stuff. One of those health power attorneys, if something happens, and the family gets to make a decision. So all that needs to be in play, right? Could be, I guess, right?
Yes, and we have to
And I
ask,
know
and
that's extreme, but you probably have a questionnaire, an assessment you ask
I
about that.
do. We do a pre-assessment, and we want to make sure that we know that this person is a sound-minded body, and that there's no other power of attorney or family involved in the decision making. You always want to know
Yes, you
who the
do.
decision maker is,
Right.
and we'll work with, like I said, we work with trust officers, attorneys. We work
Got
with
it.
caseworkers through Medicare,
Okay.
and sometimes rehabilitation centers. If a patient has or a person has fallen and they're
You can go through that. Okay.
yeah, we want to coordinate that. So we had recently had a lady that her son contacted us. She was in an independent living facility. She had fallen. had gone to the hospital, gotten, uh, you know, surgery, and then was in a physical rehabilitation
Right.
facility. And her caseworker said, I cannot send you back to that independent living facility because it's not safe for you. You need to go to an assisted living. So it was my job to help actually downsize her again from independent living to an assisted living.
Okay, got it. All right, cool.
So I needed to do that in a way that was honoring to her, and but also accomplish that objective in a fast time frame.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And so what I'm picking up from you, Kim, is that a lot of the passion you have for this business relies on that senior side. Is that correct? I mean, you'll do anybody, but that's where your heart is, right? Is that end of it?
It's
Would you say?
it's anybody who is overwhelmed and stuck with their
that,
stuff.
that that could be a lot of
Overwhelmed and
people.
stuck with their
It
stuff.
just make that your tagline. Are you
Yes,
overwhelmed and stuck with a lot
stuck
of
with your
stuff?
stuff.
You need my help. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the one thing that really intrigued me about your toolkit, and by the way, they can. I guess they can. We'll talk about this somewhere in the show, but I guess they can buy this toolkit from you
Absolutely.
completely furnished and ready to go. But the thing that intrigued me in your toolkit, which I loved, was not only did you have the color coding, but you had sheets that you were allowed to write down what you were going to do with each item and keep an inventory as you went along, right? So,
Yeah.
like for instance, we looked at that lava lamp. We decided it was going to go,
Yes.
right?
It's going to be
And
gifted to
it was
son.
going to
Yes.
be gifted
Uh-huh.
to son. Darn it, we wanted that lava lamp. It was orange and cool or whatever. But anyhow, so that was tagged and then it was listed on that sheet. So by the time you're done, you've got this list of everything, right? That you're doing. So you don't have to go too far to look and see what you've got on the white list or the green list or whatever.
Right.
So
Yes. And that way, if someone forgets, what did I do with that particular thing,
yeah,
that lava lamp, whatever it was, we can go back and refer to it. And most importantly, if family members want to know what happened to this piece of furniture that we wanted, or whatever it was, dishes, different things that come up. You know, as children, we attach sentimental value to our parents' things, and we don't even realize
right.
that we've done that. But if you've ever had somebody that has willed you something, or you've gone through your parents' things, when you pick up a certain thing, it brings back all those memories, and it doesn't have to be worth a lot, but it's worth a lot to you.
It is, and you made me. I thought about the other day. I was driving down the road. I knew you were coming over tonight, and I was thinking about the show. And the funny thing was, do you remember that movie, The Jerk, with
Yeah.
Steve Martin? And there's a video section in there where at the end when Louis lost all his fortune and he's having to move, he goes, "All I care about is that lamp."
Yeah.
And he picks it up and he goes, "And that chair." And then by the time he leaves, he's got a handful of stuff. And I pictured you going through that with people, right? That's all I care about is that lamp.
Yes.
And oh no, and I want that chair and
That's
that
exactly what
ashtray.
happens. And so we
Okay,
have to step back for a little bit and
that was
remind them
funny.
kindly of this is where you're going here. So, uh, but yeah, and this time of year is a time when a lot of
Oh
people are
yeah, that's what I
thinking
was going to
about
ask
that.
you.
Yeah.
And why is it always? Is this because it's a brand new start to a next year? It's an end of a year. New Year's resolutions. So for you, it would seem like a lot of people that want to get in have the clutter, right, or feel stuck or overwhelmed.
Mhm.
That's your client. Seems like, well, part of my New Year's resolution is I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, or I'm going to start downsizing. Right? That's you.
Yes, I think
Or
really what stimulates it is family. This is the time of year when we get together with family. And so,
they start looking around.
well, and you start thinking, I work with a lot of
Do we really need
boomers
that
too.
twister game
Yeah,
anymore?
yeah, really. I just bought one, so don't tell me that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But no, they look at it and they go, I want to make a fresh start. This is a good time for me to think about moving closer to the kids, or closer to the grandkids, or this is a time when I really need to sit down and have that talk with mom and dad and say, you know
Sure.
what, this house is getting to be too much for you to maintain, and we really think you need to consider another option. And these kind of hard conversations are what people are having right now,
Yep.
and they're starting to think about,
Makes total sense.
okay, I want to get ready. I want to get my home ready to go on the market. So I know I've got to declutter and get rid of stuff. I know that I need to do this, 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 this. And when you look at all the things you have to do to get ready, which I work with people every day on, it can be really overwhelming. Having somebody guide you through that process and give
Yeah.
you the resources that are credible, good resources to make it happen is huge.
Yeah, and I mean, if we were moving, we are, but I mean, if we were going to, we're going to a little bit larger place because we operate some businesses out of here. But I can tell you that I'm simple, and Yvonne is very. She likes a lot of stuff laying around, right? And because she does oils and herbs and then
Right, right.
plants, so there's lots of stuff. So I could see where this might be the time we go, Kim, come in here and help us figure out what we need to put in this new apartment, right? And so we might, I get that because we're in that position right now.
Right.
We've got a lot of stuff we need to just book, the stuff need to go and be sold, and
So let me give you an example of things you can
I
ask
know.
yourself.
Can
No.
you get in your closet when you get home? No.
Oh yeah, you're
Okay. Oh,
you
you
would
see
be a
it, but it's
challenge
room
for
wide,
me.
right? But what I'm saying is because we've just run out of room. That's the way it is, and there's stuff in there. I promise you, we haven't touched in 6 months. And I have a rule, and I just use if you don't use something in 6 months, get rid of it. If you haven't used it in 6 months, you're not going to use it in 6 more months. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, you're a little bit hardcore at that. I would
Okay.
say in a couple of years, if you haven't used it in a couple of years, you ask yourself, or I find out that people have two blenders, two
Yeah, two
mixers.
toasters, or they save one because it's a parts toaster. I don't get that.
Here's the thing: if you're saying to yourself, well, I might use this someday, or so and so gave this to me.
Right, it's
I
a
had
hard.
that
I
one.
have that. Have
I
to have
never
that.
ever
Bob
use
gave
it.
that to me. He's no longer with us. I have
Yeah.
to keep that.
Yeah. Even
Thank
though
you.
it's useless to me, I don't really like it and I hide it in the closet.
Picture
Exactly. Take a picture
and
of it.
sell it, or give it to a donation.
Yes,
So
yes. If
that's
you
good.
if selling your things is unappetizing to you and you don't need the extra money,
Right.
then absolutely there's so many great
Cool.
organizations in this area to donate to.
All right.
So
So take a breath. I'm going to thank a couple more sponsors here real
okay.
quick if I can. Hey, Jerry's Garage. This is the time of year where it's starting to get cold in Texas. And Jerry's Garage is a family owned automotive service here in Round Rock that they've been in business since 1967. Now, that's pretty cool because that family owned means they've got a good reputation because in this business today, you don't stay in business unless you've done people right. So they're both full service import and domestic, and they have transmission shop. And his website is Jerry's Garage. It's JERRYS dash garage.com. And Todd Frank owns Jerry's Garage, and they're a great sponsor. We want to thank them for their sponsorship. Go check out their website. And by the way, for y'all just coming in listening, on this one, and mainly the archive is where most people will listen to this, Kim, because they can listen to it on their own time, right? Um, be aware that we have 11 sponsors for this show, which is cool, and they get to be linked on the custom player I give you. So I don't get to all of them during the show because the whole show would be about the sponsors and not about the
Right.
guests. They know that they're paying for our guests to come on for free, and they get a custom player, and they know they're linked on it. So for if I don't get to all you sponsors tonight, you know that you have 11 links on the custom player that's a tab. They can
Yeah.
click it, look at them, and go to it. So thank you for your support. I'm not going to click the applause because for some reason that was giving us some feedback, and I don't know why.
Here we'll clap.
But we'll clap out
Awesome.
loud. But
Thank
thank
you.
you, sponsors, and that's cool. All right, so let's give them for those listeners that might be listening, came in later on the live show. What is your website again, Kim? If they want to go check it out, don't leave the show. Just go check it out. What's the website?
DownsizeMyHome.biz, B-I-Z.
BIZ, which is really kind of good. Rusty quit. Our dog's over there itching. He's on Benadryl. Can't help it.
So I have another question for you.
Yes.
Okay. The number one reason that people downsize
Yes.
is because their home no longer fits them. But do you know what the number two reason is?
Their home no longer fits them. Um, too much stuff.
No, the number two reason is financial.
Ooh, well, yeah, okay. Well, I didn't even think because we hadn't even talked about that
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
There's people having to do that now, right?
Right. Yeah, they not only don't need that much home, they don't want the mortgage payment or the utility bills.
Makes
Uh,
total sense.
yeah,
And,
so
and
I
so
work with a lot of people that way too.
yeah, and either they retired okay or they didn't, right? And they might be on fixed income or whatever. So it's imperative that they get with in a
Hmm.
simpler life and get where they need to be. So financial reasons seem to me would be a huge reason right now.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
we live in a good economy, but that's not true for the whole country. And thank goodness you operate out of Austin, right?
Right. But some people, they're looking at retirement. They're saying, am I going to outlive my retirement? When I do, and that's one of the things that people are looking at is going to a smaller, more affordable place, reducing their utility bills, reducing their. So I've had some people that have moved to a different
Even
county
water
to reduce.
bills, you think about all that
Yeah,
stuff you pay for, property taxes would be
property. That's
another
what I was
big
just going to say.
reason because those are high right
Yeah,
now, aren't they
they're
here?
moving. They're moving to different neighborhoods to
To
get
eliminate,
better tax rates.
I bet.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable. So all this ties into this. So, um, what what is the process for somebody contacts you and you tell them
Mhm.
what? They say, Kim, I heard your show, or I went and found your website, or I did a Google search, and
Right.
there you were, and so they called you, and what do you tell them? What do you have a
I like
hour
to
long
meet.
consulting with
Yes, I'd
them, or
like to
what do
meet
you
with
do?
them for an initial consultation so that they can get to know me and I can better understand their needs. That's no obligation, no charge. If they decide that they'd like to, uh, hire a downsizing specialist, then I can either offer them an initial package, which
Right.
is the downsizing toolkit, which by itself is over $100 because it's got lots of stuff in it,
Yeah,
including
but
discounts
that's a
from.
deal. I mean,
Yeah,
for what you give them.
including yeah, I'm working with other vendors to offer discounted services to them.
Cool.
I just gave I just got my one client I just finished with 15% discount on their moving expenses, which was big.
That's
So
huge.
some of those kinds of things. So it includes over $100 worth of value there, but also then 4 hours of consultation. So the toolkit plus 4 hours of consultation is $395.
That's awesome.
And then if they want to contract any hours after that, they
Then
can.
then they can work directly with you per hour on a per
Right,
hour basis.
right.
Okay, that's awesome. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So,
cheap. That's like me.
okay, for you it's 500.
Okay, fine, whatever. And you get the 395 sounds better than 400. I get all that, but I know from being with Kim on a site and getting to spend a couple hours there, what going through the process, I get why I said wow because I understand the value of it.
Hmm.
Okay, and I will tell you that it's got a great color code system. It's got a great inventory system. It's just real easy to follow. The hardest part is deciding what to do with stuff. And I will tell you that the lady that you were dealing with, right? She was having a hard time with some of that stuff, and we had just started, right? It was small stuff, and I'm going, wow, this is as this gets bigger. I wonder, I wasn't there for that, but
And I'm
wow.
still working with her,
You
and
are okay,
yes,
great.
and now I've given her lots of other resources that she's using, and she's getting ready to sell her large 3,700 square foot home and
Woohoo!
move into a 1,600 square foot townhome.
That's awesome.
So she's
So
excited.
that's been an ongoing process now for a little over a year or a little less than a year.
Oh,
About
probably about six
yeah,
months.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you was you say get started now, but they can go if they don't know exactly when they're moving, they can still start the process.
Yes, and it's always good to have a time frame though, because
A
like anything
goal,
else, you just go,
a goal.
okay, well, I'll get around to that, and you're not motivated. So that one will be an 8 month process. I just finished one that I was telling you about that where they moved from a 3 bedroom, 2 bath home, 2,200 square feet to 1,000. We did that in 2.5 weeks,
Okay, got it. Wow,
and they
that's
were
pretty good.
so.
How'd we
Uh,
do that so quick?
yeah, well, we had help. I have other people that are great to work with that come in
Okay.
and help me. So
So what else?
I want to let people know, kind of along that line of financial reasons,
Yeah,
that
good.
I've got an upcoming event that I'm really excited about partnering with. I'm partnering with Georgetown Mortgage, and tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock from 2 to 4,
Now today is December 2nd, so that's Wednesday.
Wednesday,
There's
December
December
3rd.
3rd.
I'm sorry, Wednesday, December 3rd.
Right.
We're doing a free 2 hour uh, seminar workshop on
Cool.
understanding the truth about reverse mortgages, because Texas legislature has just passed in August new reforms to this that allow people to do a lot more. And this
Really?
can be a
They're making
real,
reverse mortgages even more flexible than they have been?
well, more flexible and taking them out of the realm of, oh, that's a scam. They're
Oh yeah, because everybody thinks it's just some
oh,
sort
it's
of
too
it's some
expensive, and
sort of
they're,
evil loan
well,
that's going to catch you at the end. And I know
or
that.
or it's
Right.
like a payday loan or something. It is not.
No.
But did you know that you can purchase a property now with a reverse mortgage if you're 62 years or older?
Really.
You can use it not just
So
to
the money that you're borrowing against the equity on the second lien or whatever, right? Or
it's a
it
very
can be
unique.
put down on another homestead.
You sell your home and you use a reverse mortgage to purchase your home. And what that means is you buy a new
Ah,
home and you have no mortgage payment. So if you want to have more cash flow in your life,
that makes total
but you also want to move to a smaller,
right. You
more
can do
affordable home,
that.
you can do that, eliminate your monthly payment, or you can use it and get a monthly.
I might. Where's that at? Georgetown.
It's at my office tomorrow
Okay,
from
that's
2 to
cool.
4.
All right.
Remax One office because I am a Remax agent, but it's very exciting. I went to a seminar on it and I was blown away. And this is not a sales pitch. It is this guy is flying in from Colorado
No, I
Springs,
think it's awesome. I think people
but this
want
guy is,
education on that.
yes, he is one of the biggest. He's done reverse mortgages for 12 years. He's an expert at it, and he will come in. He'll answer anybody's questions. But I know there's people tomorrow that you and I both know that are coming because they want to understand this better.
Yeah,
And
no
what can it
kidding.
do to help
Makes
them?
total sense.
You can take it. You can buy investment property with it.
I'm going to call. Matter of fact, and we won't get off show here, but I'm going to call, make some calls. I got somebody that needs to get that deal.
Yeah,
So it's going to be at your office off of Palmer.
right. 3009 Glacier Pass
Right.
in Cedar Park tomorrow. Remax One tomorrow from 2 to 4, and they can certainly call me if they want more information. My phone
Right.
number is 512-296-3598.
Now that's December 3rd, 2014. So remember, this is an archive
Yeah, I
show.
know.
If you listen to this archive show like next week, this information doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't call Kim and talk about these. Okay,
You,
reverse
you
mortgages,
certainly
which
can.
is
And
cool.
I am not the reverse mortgage expert, but I'm partnering with these people because I think it's a great option
And it
for
helps,
some
and it's part of
people.
your downsize.
And it's one of my resources that I offer people as part of my downsize business. So whether or not
And
they
that's
need
the
my
point. That's
services,
the point,
I want
right?
to be a
Is
resource.
you want to be a resource, and it helps with what you're trying to do. That's
Right.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. So it's got a lot of exciting information that people just need to be aware of. Whether
Okay.
they need it, it's not for everybody, but a lot of folks are wanting to stretch their retirement dollars, and this is one option to do that.
Cool. All right. So, what did we miss tonight?
Oh, besides TV,
Well, we missed TV, but I mean, what is like you said, you work with all ranges of ages of people. We've talked about seniors. We've
okay.
talked about the financial. What else?
But let me just kind of summarize, kind of bullet
Yes,
point what I do.
please.
What is downsize my home? Because everybody's heard the term downsize, it's bandied about. But what does a downsizing specialist do?
Yeah, that's what I want
So
to know. Last
basically,
question.
what we do is we help people make decisions about what to keep, what to gift, what to sell, what to toss. We help them get an inventory system that their loved ones can access to keep track of their valuable items. We help them break down projects, large projects, into smaller, more doable tasks. Give them timetables, strategies to get the most value out of their home if they
Right.
decide to sell it. Um, we help communicate with family members so that those difficult decisions or those tough conversations can be easier. We help them decide what's the right next home for me to move into. And then, so what do I take forward with me and how do I make it all fit into that new space? We coordinate additional resources, movers, packers, cleaners, um, painters, whatever is needed
That's
to
awesome.
to facilitate that transition. Basically, our tagline is we make transitions easy.
And you do. And I know everything you just mentioned from an outsource standpoint you have in your hands.
Yes.
I already know that. So I mean, think about that. You got somebody standing by your side taking, I don't know where to start, right? And I got too much stuff. I don't know where to begin. That makes total sense. Or I've been here forever and I've got stuff I don't even, if it's sentimental, it's really nice to know they can have that done.
And the one point I want to stress is for anybody who's listening out there who is a realtor, just because I'm a realtor, I have had other realtors hire me to assist them, and I
So
consider
you're a
myself.
realtor to a realtor now.
Well, yeah. So they can either buy my downsize kit and give it to their clients as a value add. Say, let me help you
Right.
with this whole thing of getting decluttering and getting your home ready,
That makes even more
or
sense.
I can come in and consult with them. I do not. It's a hands-off situation. It is their client, but I just talked to a gentleman the other day. Said I'm trying to help my brother and sister downsize, but they've got so much stuff they don't know where to start, and that's exactly what I'm there to do, to help them.
And so I see you being extremely busy. It seems like this thing's really starting to slowly jumpstart now,
It
right?
is. It is
And
jump
you're
starting.
saying
Yeah.
one lead and referrals leading to another, and so I see you as a direct market to realtors if they want help with this to get them to help with their transition. You can help people that are going through financial stuff. You're getting involved with the mortgage company, right? Like on the reverse loan that helps get the downsize piece done. People don't know where to start. People got a lot of clutter. People are stuck in their stuff. And so to me, and then you've got this toolkit that takes care of all those scenarios. That's what I love.
Right. It's a physical hands-on kit that it
Yep,
gives you everything
yep. You
from
hold it under your arm,
packing tape
but it's
to
got powerful stuff in
labels
it.
to
Yeah, it's
a
cool.
workbook, step-by-step workbook, everything else.
And how come nobody really thought of that?
You know, this,
Because when you think about it, it's the simple stuff. It's like the little piece of cardboard that somebody came up with to go on your windshield, and everybody's throwing blankets in the old days,
yes,
like on their dash, and all of a sudden you went, "Why didn't I think of that?"
yeah. Well, I thought of it 7 years ago, and,
Awesome.
really just now truly implementing it, and I think that everybody across the country could benefit
And
from it.
Kim's fun to work with, and you'll enjoy it. And now the last question, because I want to make sure there might be somebody listening to this archive from California, from Minnesota, from MIZZOU. Um, uh, what is your boundaries right now? Where do you really want to focus doing this for folks?
Well, I'm in Texas. I've had people from California ask me about it. I just talked to someone from Phoenix. I'm planning in the first of the year to go up to Phoenix and
Right.
talk to some people
But you
about
could sell the
starting.
kit out of state, right?
I can send the kit to
That's
anyone,
what I'm saying. So
absolutely,
the kit itself could be shipped anywhere, and
anywhere in
with
the
a little
country.
consulting on the phone, and y'all work that out, right?
Yes.
But locally, is it? Do you like? Will you fly somewhere to help somebody, or is it mainly just here, and then it has to be a real special reason to go to Phoenix?
What?
Because you just want to go play golf and have fun, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
do.
fine,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, no. There's actually some people who contacted me and have been interested in
Okay.
introducing this to the Phoenix market. So,
Okay, so now we're talking about potential franchising down the road, or
well,
just offering it as a consulting affiliate
here,
or something,
here's the
right?
thing.
See,
I think
you're enlightening me with all this new stuff.
I think there's going to be a real need for a true downsizing specialist. And so, just like you have um, new buyer specialist in the real estate business, or you have a video
So
specialist
you
in your
got you
field,
got you got education that you can do for these
we'll
folks
have
to get them
training.
started in their
Yes,
business. So you're going to be
absolutely.
offering education and
Training and
training
support. Uh-huh.
support. That's awesome.
Yep.
Perfect. So instead of marketing the kit and just being this one stop, I sell this, you can sell those things in quantity to somebody else, train them how to use it, and let them start their own business in that market and be a support to them.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yay for you. Final thoughts?
We're getting there.
You had a blast. It was the best show you've ever been on. You loved the studio. You just can't believe how cool it is,
I'm
right?
excited that you and Yvonne are moving up, baby.
Uh,
And
we
I will help you if you want. I
yeah,
will help you declutter.
we're getting there. Yeah, we're getting really close to deciding that it's going to be a little bit bigger place,
Yes, you
and
need it and you
so
deserve it.
I know, but I've been a homeowner two, three times, and so I got done with the yard work and all that because I loved it, but it just got to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
it's a trade-off, but
Yes.
it's cool. Well, thank you. And I'll tell you, go check out downsizemyhome.biz. Go check out the website. It's got great information on it. Kim is awesome to talk to. She's friendly. She's cool. She's got and she's really a big help, and she cares about her clients. I can tell you that right now. I already know that. And because people that always say Kim is fantastic, we hear it all the time.
Well, good. I'm glad you hear
So
it.
if you do listen to this archive show, there is a date on there that's real important, and that's tomorrow. There's going to be a reverse mortgage
Seminar.
deal on December 3rd, 2014. but the information on here is timeless because that's not going to change. So this archive, when it's up for Kim, whatever she decides to do with it, just remember that we have one timestamp on here. The rest of it, yeah, you can, it's generic, okay?
I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time about
Right.
that has questions about downsizing or how to help their parents. I'm just here.
That's
Please
awesome.
call me or email me.
Yeah, and you know, believe it or not, we're at almost 55 minutes, 56 minutes, which time flies on this. I want to thank all my sponsors and guys. We were getting some feedback on the when I hit the sound effects, and so I didn't want to touch those again. But the custom player will have links to all the sponsors. We ask you to support Austin business, and when you do, check that custom player out. Please click on our sponsors. This show will be also posted on the Hurdy Burke Facebook page. It's the Hurdy Burke, and that's HURDIEBURK Broadcast Network group page on Facebook. All the shows are there for all the small business. Go check them out. If you join it, I'll accept you, so it's no big deal. It's a public group. Kim will have her show on her own custom player to match the colors of her website. So, and again, guess what? We're on this Thursday night. We're on 2 nights now a week
Awesome.
to accomplish because we've had so many people request being on the show that this Thursday night will be Donna McMurray from Dazzling Light Photography. She films babies. That's her
Oh,
specialty, and
that's
shooting
awesome.
before, while, during, after, and then in timelines of the
Oh,
years. So you have this one. It's really cool. So we're going to be interviewing Donna McMurray from Dazzling Light Photography on Thursday night. Kim, thank you.
awesome. Thank
You
you.
did good. And we'll see you guys around the corner Thursday night. We're on 7 to 8 Central Standard Time. And you guys have a great night. Good night.